Yeah, right.
October 8th. It was supposed to start 2 days ago. I don't know.
All right. I love trigonometry. It's my favorite math.
I agree.
Both purple and orange are correct. I'm not going to write answers in different orders ever again. So don't ask me if your answer is right when you have the exact same factors as me but in a different order. Because that is like saying, Mr. Myers, is 3 times 4 the same as 4 times 3? To which I will respond, kid, are you in the right classroom? Okay. Okay. Now, there's always a joker in the class that right now, after I do that bit, that gag, says, Mr. Myers, is it okay if I have 3x minus 5y first? Don't do that gag. I've already heard that gag. So don't do it. Okay? Tomorrow, on Friday, I am also going to say, tomorrow, when we do this, and one of you is going to do that gag tomorrow, Saturday. Don't. Then I'm going to say on Monday, and then one of you is going to do that gag. Monday's a holiday. Don't. Okay? Because this is 2x plus 5, x minus 5. This is x squared plus 1, and x plus 1, and x minus 1. And if you don't have what I have, what do you do? You're damn skippy. You put your hand up and ask a question. Nice job, Riley May. That's what we used to say way back in the day.
Way back in the day?
Way back in the day.
How old do you want us to think you are?
I'm 44. Way back in the day for me was literally 30 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
Over double your lifetime. And I was still talking because I was a teenager. Yes. Number 4. Of course, that is a perfect square. So it is x squared plus, that is a perfect square, 1. And then you write it again. Then, of course, you see another perfect square and another difference and another perfect square. So you have to break down the second one to x plus 1 and x minus 1. This one is, back to purple, x minus 5, x minus 12. This one is a plus 11, a minus 11. This one is 3x plus 4, x minus 4. This one is a plus 4, a minus 4. It'll catch up. This is 8, a plus 3, a minus 3. This is 1/3 plus x, 1/3 minus x. Has it caught up yet?
No.
Oh, la! I'm already on number 10. Oh, blue screen of death. I like, Mantosh, how your let's goes are all the same 2 words, but your intonation tells what you're actually feeling. Like when you get a question right, let's go! When something goes crappy, let's go. Well, I was wondering why I was rocketing through that so fast and nobody was saying anything. Oh, that's a 4. Yes. Yes. If that was 9, isn't that a perfect square minus a perfect square? Okay. So it's 1/9. So it's 1/3, because 1/3 times 1/3 is 1/9, plus x, and 1/3 minus x. Sure. X plus 5, I lie. X plus 1, x minus 5. Now, I actually am going to say here, I am going to do something, not switch the factors, because that would be useless. What I am going to say is, and I'm writing it in red, so is this right as well? No, because that will give me a different middle term. Now, that middle term does have a name, but you never, no. The 4 is a coefficient. The whole middle term, now that we've gone off, this is the quadratic term. Yes, it is. That is the quadratic term. That is the linear term. But anyway, if you mess up these signs, your linear term will be wrong. So be careful. Yes?
But the last one is still called coefficient?
No, the last one is a constant. And that is back to purple. Where's purple? I'm feeling purple today. I'm feeling mighty purple. X plus 3. Now, I will accept that. That's actually the best answer, but I also, of course, will accept that. And lastly, x to the 4th plus 4, x squared plus 2, x squared minus 2, and of course you must stop because 2 is not a perfect square. Aight? There's always a kid or two on this page that goes to this. Always. Who was it? There we go.
Before we marked it.
Huh?
I corrected myself before we marked it.
It's okay. It's just that thing that I can say. There's always a kid that thinks the square root of 2 is 1. Just like when you do this Pythagoras question. There's always a kid that tells me that's 2. Always. No. It's the square root of 2. Don't worry, we've got 2 whole pages of Pythagoras coming up right at that spot. Now, we're way back here. We got to get through functions, graphing, writing, systems, measurement, then we'll do trig. I saved trig for the end because it's my favorite. So I like to finish the year on a personal high note, because if it wasn't for trig, I might have become a horticulturalist or an air traffic controller. Horticulturalist grows plants.
Why can you say a plant?
Because that's not the word for it. If I were going to be a neurosurgeon, I would not call myself a body cutter person. I would call myself a surgeon, because that's the word for it. I do not call myself a talk at the kids and have them ignore him person. I call myself a teacher, because that's my name or my profession. That was funny, hey, what I did there? Yeah, I know. What?
What's the difference of that and a farmer?
A farmer actually tills the land. A horticulturalist deals with just the propagation of plants. Farmers got a whole lot more on their page. Part of the farmer's job is horticulture, but it is also business. It is also labor relations. It is also, depending on what they farm, there might be animal husbandry involved. Right? Animal husbandry is not what you think it is. Animal husbandry is the proper name, verb for raising animals. Okay. It is not animal husbandry what you think. That is bestiality. which in a lot of places in the world is illegal, but oddly, not all.
I mean,
Let's go. I'm not sure about where on the spectrum that one comes into. I did, and look at what I wrote.
You don't know BC.
The theorem Pythagorean, must you know.
Go home and see.
Now you're giving up my gag. I was going to do that in late January.
You know?
I do know. All right, quiz time.
no,
Yes.
I wasn't ready.
Why is it quiz time? Because I am indeed the boss of you. You can say I'm not the boss of you, but I am. You will notice my fun font due to the fact that it was officially almost 0 degrees overnight. So I have a fun font today. Now, I have noticed a few of you students, even though I have supplied you with the lovely coil-bound workbook, are still carrying binders. And I feel that I have done you a disservice by not hole punching your previous quizzes and such. So I will hole punch to help those of you that are still maintaining binders. No. Hey, what's that? The kingdom. I don't know what the kingdom is, unless you are speaking of my personal favorite community on The Walking Dead. I'm a kingdom fan. Not so much since the tiger got eaten by the zombies. I really liked the tiger. But Ezekiel is my favorite character on the show, even more so than Daryl. It was Daryl for a long time, but now it's Ezekiel. Now, shut up, because I just started watching the 9th season, and I'm a little bit behind, so no spoilers. Daryl is cool. What? It's on Netflix, all 9 seasons. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the end of season 9. That sounds like a spoiler alert.
Just have a fun. Even if you don't like it, you can watch one episode.
Down, pass them around. 29 quizzes of factoring on the desk.
I like your tie.
Thank you. I owe you, don't I? I said I was going to start in the middle next time. What are you going to do? You're not the boss of me.
I know.
What? Why? You otter, no. That's obviously an otter.
No.
Why would you need calculators? It's division. Yes, go ahead. You could use your calculators, but I reserve the right to judge you harshly with a mean stare. So embarrassing. Calculators and division. What's next? Thank God. You have 3 minutes. If you're using your calculators, this should only take no time. You can tell you what, you can have 10, no calculator, or you can have 7 with calculator.
And no calculator.
I'm just kidding. You can have 10 minutes. But I do like that idea. Maybe I'll try that next quiz that you don't need a calculator for, which is just about every single quiz. Oh, I've lost my phone. I don't really care. It won't really affect me in any way. I know where it is. It's plugged into my car, which is in Mission. Because that's where my wife works. No, she drives me here because we live in Chilliwack. So she drops me off here and then carries on to Mission. Because we care about the planet as much as we possibly can. So we carpool. Durr. Yes, you did. Oh,
Because she couldn't play. Like when you're trying, she couldn't play because you were time to forget. Then when in America.
that trinomial there we have already factored to death.
Yeah.
To factor that trinomial, you must find two numbers that multiply to whatever C is and add to whatever B is. Right? Now, why, you ask, is the first thing a B and the second thing a C? What letter is missing? A. A would go right here. Up until today, A has always been what? No, it's not nothing. It's always been 1. We don't write 1 when we multiply because it doesn't change the value of anything. Correct?
Correct.
Well, you will notice now that I am telling you A no longer equals 1. What? So now A can be a number that we will actually have, with which we will have to deal. Because I wouldn't say it's a number we have to deal with, because then I am dangling a preposition in front of you. And nothing bothers me more than dangling prepositions. Prepositional phrases are the phrases that describe where things are in relation to other things. So, if you are going to deal with something, you must deal with it. You can't say it's something I've got to deal with, because you are not with anything then. Which is why you must say it is something about which I must deal, or with which I must deal. But it makes you sound snooty when you speak properly. It's too bad it makes you sound snooty when you speak properly. Nobody ever looks at it the other way. You sound like an idiot when you don't speak properly, but nobody ever says that. Right? Nobody says that except your grandparents.
Yeah.
Because your grandparents care about stuff like that. Because your grandparents realize if your mind is organized enough to speak properly, your mind is organized enough to do everything else properly.
Yeah.
That's why your grandparents are the members of the generation that put people on the moon, and you guys are worried about TikTok and Instagram.
Ouch.
Yo, let's go.
So, this question right here, is that factored or expanded? That's factored. So when you see that, you would want to expand. And then, of course, you know how to expand it. It is x squared plus 6x. And then you would go to a new line and write 4x plus 24. And then you would collect your like terms. And then, if you were here, and I said, do something with that, you would, of course, reverse it. And you would reverse it by doing the factoring that you were just tested on. Multiply to 24 and add to 10. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So, let's look at our second option there. Is that factored or expanded? That is factored, yes? So what would we do if I said do something with that? You would expand it, and you would get, of course, 6x squared plus, sorry, not plus, idiot head, minus 4x plus 3x minus 2. Yeah? And then you would collect your like terms, and you get 6x squared minus x minus 2. Right?
Right.
Now, the problem is, if I said do something with that right now, I can't guarantee if all of you dealt with that in the 9th grade. Did you? Yeah? Okay. So, as a result, I need to show you how to do this. Now, there are, to my knowledge, 7 methods that you can use to factor a trinomial when when a does not equal 1. I am not showing you 7 methods. Here's why. I only know 4. I can't be bothered to learn the other 3, because if you can't get something factored when you have 4 ways to do it, you're never going to get it factored, right? Okay. Now, listen to me carefully. 2 of them are evil in that they are shortcuts. And you have to just trust me that they work. Of course, you don't have to trust me because you're in honors, and I will show you why they work. The other 2, one of them, easy as pie, works perfectly, makes perfect sense, except it requires a lot of legwork, a lot of pencil scratching. And I know how you all feel about showing work, because every time I ask you to show work, you all ask me, do I have to show work? So you obviously don't like doing it. The 4th way is what has become the true favorite of all math students, guess and check. Yes, which is, of course, you guess. Why do you guess at something? No, just why do you guess at anything? Because you don't know the answer, yes? Well, if I can show you 3 ways that you will 100% know the answer, why would you ever guess? I know. So I am going to show you the guess and check method as well. Who has to decide between the 4 methods?
Me.
You do. All right? So, method 1, G and C, guess and check. To do guess and check, you need to find 2 numbers. No, wait, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shorten this up. 2 factors of A and 2 factors of C. So let's label A, B, sorry, the B is with the 1, B, and C. What are the possible pairs of factors of 6? 1 and 6 and 2 and 3, right? G, as in guess and check. So, I could have 6 and 1. There are my A factors. Yes, I should do them in blue. 6 and 1. My B factors, what are the factors of 2? Has to be 1 and 2. They're the only ones, right? So I'm going to write 1 and 2. And then you start checking, right? So, is it going to be, what is 6 times 1?
6.
What is 1 times 2? 2. Will 6 and 2 in any way get me 1? No. All right, so it can't be, 6 can't be paired with 1. Let's try 2 and 1. What's 6 times 2? What's 1 times 1? Will 12 and 1 get me 1? No, so it can't be either of the 6 and 1s. So let's try 2 and 3 and 2 and 1. What's 2 times 2? 4. What's 3 times 1? 3. Will that get me 1? How? If something's negative, yes? Okay, so when you get your pair, you gotta do this. You gotta cross them. So 2 goes with 1, 3 goes with 2. Wait, I screwed that up. I hate this method. I don't use it. That's why. Sorry, where was I? 2 and 3, and what did we start with? We had 2 and 1, right? 2 times 2 was 4, right? And 3 times 1 was 3, right? So now you got to cross them. 3 times 2, 2 times 1. And something has to be negative, right? Did the 4 or the 3? Where did we want the negative?
3.
4 minus 3 is positive 1. What do I need?
Negative 1.
So it had to be negative 4 and 3, right? Okay, so now I have 2 times 1, because 2 and 1 go together. The negative had to be up here, 3 and 2. 2x plus 1, 3x minus 1. Okay? I hate it. Use it if you want. I don't like it. Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to a second one. The second one,
So, for this, what are we trying to find? I don't.
you're trying to break this down to get back to factors. So I took 2 factors of 6, 2 factors of 2. Because at the end of this, you're going to do FOIL, right? And the end of FOIL is first, last, right?
So we're trying to break down the expanded, the factor.
You're trying to break the expanded down to factoring, just like we've been doing for 20 pages. Okay, I don't like that way. The next 2 ways are very closely related. As a matter of fact, they follow the exact same path until the very end. In this trinomial, what is it about this green trinomial that makes us go, ugh? No, we've already dealt with lots of x's. You're close. No. It is the 6. Because if I just had x squared, we know what to do, right? That's right here. We multiply to c and add to b, yeah? So the thing that makes this weird is the fact that there's a 6 there now, yes? So when it was a 1, we multiplied to c, right? Okay. But now that 1 is 6 times bigger. So what do you think we multiply to? But the 1 is 6 times bigger. So what are we going to multiply to now? C times 6. All right? So in the second and third methods, which I will do in 2 different colors, the first step is always, step A, is A times C. And that becomes what I multiply to. But I still add, I multiply to A times C, but I add to B. Everybody cool? So for this question, which was 6x squared minus x minus 2, what do I need to multiply to? Just the A. 6 times A times C. What kind of 2? Negative 12, and I still need to add to B. What's B? No. Negative 1. What are the factors of 12 that add to negative 1? Is it 1 and 12? What? It's negative 4 and 3, right? So here's where it changes. Method 1, you write x plus 4 and x minus 4 and x plus 3. Everybody cool? But the only reason I knew it was 12 was because I multiplied by 6, right? What are you doing?
I lost your answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only reason I knew this was 12 was because I multiplied by 6, yeah? So the only reason I know it's 4 and 3 is because I multiplied by 6, yeah? So I got to get rid of that 6, don't I? What gets rid of multiplied by 6? Divide by 6. Now, would Mrs. Bad Crumble let you leave that fraction? What would she insist you do with that? To what? And what would she insist you do there? 1/2. Now, here's where the magic happens. All you have to do when you get here is take that number and move it there. Take that number and move it there. And you get 3x minus 2 and 2x plus 1. Oh! How can you be lost? I stopped at every step and I told you exactly what was happening. You knew it was 12 because you multiplied by 6. So what did we have to do to the 4 and the 3? I had to divide by 6. Now you bring all your math knowledge to the party. Mrs. Bad Crumble would never let you leave that fraction. So you don't leave that fraction. It becomes 2 over 3. You don't leave that fraction. It becomes 1 over 2. Now I warned you, this is magic. All you need to do now, and I will show you why, all you need to do now is take this denominator and move it to the front. You don't need to know why yet. You just need to know that's what you do. Okay? And then I get this. Cool? You don't need to know why, so don't be confused. Just like you don't need to know why we make hot dogs. You can just eat them. You shouldn't know why we make hot dogs. Now, I said there's another way that's very similar to this, which I will do in green. You get to the exact same spot. You get to here, and you know it is 3 negative 4, right? Well, instead of doing x and x, you can do this. 6x plus 3 and 6x minus 4. Everybody cool? Now, this should bother you. Why? Because there's a GCF there, isn't there? We can simplify that. To what? What? Does that bother you? Why? Because we can simplify it to what? 3x minus 2, right? Oh, I forgot it's a short day. There and there. We'll pick this up tomorrow. You got no work. Go have a good night. It's a beautiful fall evening. Go for a walk. You can take your dog for a walk. You should take the bus to Chilliwack and take my dog for a walk. Then I don't have to. Stupid short day. We got 3 short days next week, don't we? 2 short days.